Tesla might be the most innovative and the most controversial brands in today's automotive landscape. And whether you love their cars or you hate them, you've got to admit, some of them are pretty darn cool. They put some really nice features and technologies into their cars that you just don't see from normal car brands. So in today's video, we're going to be going in a full in-depth review of this Tesla Model 3. We're going to talk about the powertrain, the performance specs, and the exterior and interior features. So let's get right into the video. Part of the Model 3's allure is that it has a very clean, minimalist design to it. In fact, if I had to describe this car using everyday terms, I would say it kind of looks like a cell phone in car form. It's just very smooth and technologically focused, especially here in the front of the car. Now, because it's an electric car, it's powered by an electric motor, it doesn't need quite as many openings in the front of the car as a gasoline engine does. In fact, I have a C6 Corvette next to me, and you can see the front end of the car is super sharp and angular, and it's filled with a bunch of vents and hood scoops and just openings all around the face of the car that allow air into the engine bay so it can burn fuel in the engine, but also so it can help cool the engine with the radiator and all of that mess. Here in an electric car like this, it's so much simpler. You don't need all those openings. So really the only opening on the Model 3 worth mentioning is this very small vent set low in the car just above the front splitter that's going to help cool the battery pack a little bit, because those do need a small amount of cooling, but not nearly as much as a traditional engine would. In fact, really the only defining feature on the front of the Model 3 that's going to help it stand out from the rest of the blobs out on the road are these gorgeous LED headlamps that really flow along with the body lines of the car, and they look very sharp. I like how they added this nice bright white accent piece in the headlight at the top that really contrasts all the colors on this car, or the lack thereof, in fact. Now, speaking of those body lines, as we move along to the side of the car, it's got a very flowing shape to it. It's all very smooth, and they were able to enhance that effect by adding these standard flush door handles so it doesn't stick out and mess with the proportions of the car. And you also get a ton of chrome accents along the exterior of the windows and also on the mirrors. Now, something that really stands out to me on the side of the Model 3 that isn't so good is that they have cameras all around this car. This is a common trend with modern cars. A lot of them have camera systems and sensors all around, but Tesla just did not do a very good job of hiding it. So we have a very obvious one here right behind this chrome piece with the Tesla badge on it, and then we have another one here on the B pillar that is just so obvious to me. Even in this black color where it's supposed to kind of blend in, it's really obvious to me. So that does detract a little bit from the effect of it being smooth and flowing, but obviously this is a technologically advanced car, so there's going to be cameras and sensor systems all around it. And you also get a very cool design with the rims here. This is a long-range model, so you're going to get available 18 or 19-inch rims. You upgrade to the performance model, which boosts performance and horsepower and things like that. You're going to get 20-inch rims as standard. But here we see a very nice design. I like how they covered up most of the wheels. I believe that's just for style, but it also covers up a little bit of the regenerative braking system that maybe isn't so pretty to look at. And then finally, to finish the design off in the rear of the car, again, you have LED lights back there. The one on the driver's side can actually pop open to reveal the charging port, and you have a very long sloping rear hatch there for added functionality with the trunk. And I think you're going to find the minimalist design is a theme with the Model 3. Let's hop into the interior now and talk about some of the features in there. So I'm going to do something a little bit unorthodox with this review and start the interior segment by talking about the infotainment system. Usually I go over the luxury features and the seats and the materials first, but here in the Model 3 you don't really get a ton of other features. Most of them have been consolidated into the 15-inch infotainment tablet-like touchscreen here. And there are really a lot of different things you can do in this infotainment system to customize your ride. Everything from changing the different steering modes. You've obviously got 3 different drive modes for the steering, but also your regenerative braking and your acceleration. So the 2 acceleration modes in this car are chill and standard. So chill, I guess, is eco mode, where you don't want to use quite as much battery power. You can go into chill mode and the car will chill out. Another cool feature you have in here is called creep. And that doesn't refer to the car being creepy, it just means it will move forward slowly when you release the brake pedal, similar to the way a normal combustion engine would. And as you can see here, one of the features in the infotainment menu is autopilot. This car is not selected with that, but you can order it, and it will actually update your infotainment and your car over the air, I believe, to give you that feature where the car will essentially drive itself on the highway. And obviously there's a full navigation system that scrolls and zooms, very similar to Google Maps would or something like that. You can open or close the trunk and the front trunk, from this infotainment system. But probably my favorite part about this whole screen are the Easter eggs. Now at this point it's pretty well known that Tesla puts Easter eggs into their cars, which are essentially like little hidden features that you normally wouldn't know about. Here in the Model 3 you actually access them by pressing and holding the little Tesla logo up here. So you press that and it will actually pull up the picture of your car, but then behind that it will slide out the Easter egg menu. And there are a ton of different things you can do on here. Everything from setting your navigation system to look like Mars, where your little Mars rover there. And then you can see it'll change the picture to actually a jet there. So that's pretty cool. And obviously you can turn that off again just super easily and head back to Earth. But probably my favorite Easter egg is that you can actually play video games in this infotainment system. Name another car that comes standard with video games in the infotainment system. They've actually got quite a large selection of games here. I have to admit, I'm sorry I wasn't born in the 80s. I don't know how to play any of these, but... Okay. Where am I? Where am I on this screen? I don't like this game. Let's give it a shot. Asteroids. Never heard of this game before. I'm sorry. All the older viewers on my channel are probably cringing right now. Wow, you guys never thought this would turn into a gaming channel, did you? Alright, that's enough playing around. Let's talk about the real features in this interior that aren't just stupid gimmicks. There aren't really a lot of them. So there are 3 different trim levels the Model 3 is offered in. You've got the standard, which includes manually adjusting steering wheel, manual adjusting seats. Then you can upgrade to the partial premium, which includes a few electric adjustments and some cool things you can do around the car, such as charge your phone in the center console area. They offer USB ports with that trim. And then there's the premium trim level. This is the highest version of the Model 3 interior that you can get, and it comes standard on the long-range models like this one. And obviously I've already gone in depth with the 15-inch infotainment screen on the dashboard, but you also get a leather-wrapped 3-spoke steering wheel, which can actually be adjusted very easily when the car is on using these 2 knobs on the steering wheel. And you also get 12-way heated, power-adjustable front seats and a 14-speaker upgraded sound system, as well as some more upgrades in the navigation system of the car. And as far as the materials go, I hear a lot of people complaining about the build quality in these Model 3s not being up to the same level of excellence as other luxury car manufacturers, but it's actually pretty decent. The leathers on the steering wheel and on the center console and on the seats are fairly soft, and you have a nice wood accent piece running along the entire center of the dashboard. And I do have to admit, the plastic pieces around this wood trim feel pretty cheap, but they do look pretty good. And even on the exterior of the car, I didn't notice any body panels that were egregiously out of alignment with each other, and all around, it is fairly well built. Maybe not up to the same standard as Audi and BMW, but fairly good for a car of this price range. And hey, you can't play video games in a BMW or an Audi. Now, the reason I've never reviewed a Model 3 before is that Teslas are very hard to get a hold of for reviews. In fact, they don't really have real dealerships. They just have delivery areas and showrooms, and that means it's hard to get a hold of one to show people around the exterior and interior features. And that's where I have to thank this dealership, Dimmitt Chevrolet, for providing me with this Model 3 to review today. They've been ultra helpful here, so I'll put a link to their inventory below. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave it a thumbs up, comment your thoughts below, check out my channel if you haven't already, and remember to subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching.